Everybody, okay. Buddy? Hello. Just turning my do not disturb on. Can you hear me okay? No, I cannot hear you because your mic is off.
Okay, there we go.
There you go. Shared your website in the marketing intensive as an example of like, here's how you do a rockstar website, and they were blown away. They just absolutely
I
so
could have been there. I wish I could have been there. Well, thank you. I mean, going back through it, I hope I didn't sound like cocky last week, but going back through it, I was like, that's mine. Like, it was like one of those moments of like, I know I wrote it. I know I worked with the designer to get it where it was, but I'm still so shocked.
it looks amazing, and it's such a highly converting kind of website. Just the flow, the language follows exactly the format. So yeah, you did not sound cocky at all, not at all, but you should.
Thank you. I'll try.
Hey, Janet, how are you?
Hey, good morning. Again, I feel like I'm way behind, but I'm here.
Well, we're glad that you're here. Let's go ahead and jump in. Let's share some wins. Let's put them in the chat. Actually, no, let's do them out loud. Let's do them out loud. You want to start, Bradlicia?
Sure, I'll start. Kind of business related, kind of personally related, like a couple of weeks ago when you were like, are you taking care of yourself? I think I'm doing a lot better. So this past week, and I want to say the week before, I've just been chilling like most days. So when I'm not seeing clients or if there's something that I can't quite figure out with the business, I really take a rest. I'm like, I can't stress over it. Like, we're going to have coaching on Wednesday. And so I think I was finished with the things that I was going to complete for last week, maybe Saturday. And I've just kind of been coasting since then because I knew we would have this. So that's a win for me. And I feel a lot more relaxed in my body.
Oh, that's fantastic. And it creates like the creative space that you need to be able to solve problems. When we're pushing, you know, sometimes we make things take a lot longer than they need to because we're not in our creative flow. That's fantastic.
True.
I love it. I love it. Janet, what about you? What are some of your wins?
Had a few wins. Right after we finished our talk, I feel like this is a win because I went to Bradlicia's website and I just gushed over it. It's beautiful, and now I want mine to look exactly like that. So I haven't taken any steps yet, but I looked at it. Yeah, and it is beautiful, Bradlicia. I love it. I completed all the CEUs that I need for my other licensure, which is chemical dependency. So I did that. That's out of the way. And some self-care things that I got this little calendar, but I'm not really quite sure how to use it yet. So
what, this one? This one right here? What?
Exactly. I might need some tips about how to like really put things down and do them. So I started that, and then I also did some doctor appointments, and I felt like, you know, such an adult. I'm like doing some self-care.
Yes.
Yeah, before my hair's on fire about it. So that was really beautiful for me. Anyway, win.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. And I'm happy to talk you through the planner. You know, I love that stuff. Rachel, what about you?
I always want to hit the little thing by my, and it doesn't work. Don't know if I've had any major wins this week. I got some of the BAAs that I've needed. I set up the Psychology Today profile, but I haven't heard anything from it. I did some traveling, so like most of Monday and a good portion of Tuesday, I was in the car driving. So
Mhm.
a little overwhelmed with my schedule the next couple of evenings, but
Yeah.
I still need to make money. So it's just like something about this job is nice. Like, hey, we don't get PTO time, so you kind of income level. So I think still trying to work on finding the balance, but it'll
Well,
come.
totally get that. I like deep in my bones get that. There's something about, when we travel, because we set this life up to be able to have more freedom. And then once you get the freedom, you have to be able to figure out, how do I live with this much freedom and still get the things done? I don't have the structure of a boss over my head or the 8 to 5 hours that I have to work. So how do I balance that out? And I sometimes get people saying, like, I don't want to work on the weekends like you do. And I'm like, well, that's because Tuesday and Wednesday were my weekend this week. Like Saturday and Sunday was bad weather. So I decided to work on those days and go
Yeah.
out to the beach on Tuesday and Wednesday. So it's
And
different.
I struggle with that in also building the business because I see patients during the week. So on the weekends, it's like I know I need to add in some time in my schedule and not see as many patients so I can focus on building the business, because that is also kind of an aspect. But right now, it's like when I get busy, it's like, hey, I want the weekends to myself. I don't want to stress and be doing more work. So like I said, I'm struggling with that, but trying to do, like I said, when you're saying like 1 or 2 things a week versus trying to get it all done in all 1 week.
Yes. And the needle movers, really prioritizing the needle movers. So if I think about, my menopause fan is not working right now and it's really stressing at me. What the heck? We have to plug this bad boy in, or you do not want me hot flashing during our meeting. That will be unpleasant for everybody. There we go. Okay. Okay, we're okay again. You'll let me know if you need that Amazon link. Okay, so we can talk about how to think through the needle movers so that you're taking action on those. There's somebody, I wish I could remember their name to give them credit, but they call it identifying eating the frog. So, there are lots of things you could do every single day that are going to help your business. And if you identify what's the one of these things that is like the hardest and the one that's going to move the needle the most, and you do that one first, or at least before the end of the day, that day is a success. So on days like today, where Wednesday is a day where I have lots of appointments, like Zoom meetings, I have no frogs today because these are the things that I am putting my energy into today. Like that's what's happening today. It's 4 or 5 hours of meetings. Nothing else is on the schedule. But other days I like to do, I separate it out into things. I'm a little anti-authoritarian. I don't like people telling me what to do, including myself. So when I say eat the frog, I'm like, I don't have to. I don't want to do that now that I have to do it. So I give myself permission to play in one thing related to work and eat the frog. So if I eat the frog first, then I'm like, okay, cool. Well, you can play with Canva and social media because you've eaten the frog. So you can do some of the more fun, easy things that are related to marketing. We can talk more about that. All right, sweet. So what are the questions that we have today? It sounds like kind of figuring out how to prioritize balance and also getting the important things done is something on our agenda. What else?
I think before we leave here today, I really need to just kind of nail down the informed consent and practice policies. Of course, not the whole thing, but just the opt-in part. I sent you an email about it and I posted it in the group, but I figured we would talk about it. In simple practice, there's no way to get them to opt in to like initial or check anything. So I'm just curious about, I know we can't just tell them like, I'm going to be, doing these things with you,
Right.
but I just wonder how we can do it and still be HIPAA compliant. And then along those same lines, sometimes my clients don't respond. So I use the messaging with Simple Practice because it's secure. And sometimes they don't check the messages and get back to me. So it could be about payment, it could be about scheduling. And then they're like the day before, like minutes before their appointment, responding to me. And so I kind of want to add something that says like, hey, you know, I'm going to do my best to respond to you within 24 hours, kind of an expectation of the same thing. If I don't hear from you in a timely manner, I might call you. And then that also kind of introduces that, you know, it's not secure. At least what I have is not secure. So yeah, just trying to work that out.
Let me make you this is gonna be, I've had multiple people ask me this about Simple Practice. So let's see. I'm gonna give you permission to share your screen. Can you share your screen? Okay, no problem, no problem.
I can join.
Anybody else?
If you want to come back to this or.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be great. And I will make you, when you rejoin on your computer, I'll make you a host so you can share your screen and just pick a fake client or a not, you know, open something that's not an actual client. So we're not seeing their identifying deets and we'll work through it.
Okay.
Actually, I'll come back to it when you come back because I don't want to talk about it and you not be here to hear it. Other questions that we have for today.
Can you resend me that link about the Google Suite BAA? Because I can't find it.
The workbook?
No, there was one time you sent me a link so I could figure out for like my Google email how to get like BAA and HIPAA compliant. And I don't know where it went because again, still going through the inbox because that's just a hot mess.
Totally get it. Okay, let's see.
Thank you.
And they've changed the name, so that doesn't help either.
It's Workspace.
Yeah. Google Workspace. I just want to make sure I get you the easy access link. All right, so I'm going to give you two links. This one is the info you need, and then I'm going to get you the link to sign up.
I had all of them opened on Microsoft Edge and saved to go back, and then Edge did an update and nothing could be restored. And I was like, so now I'm just going to put this in a Word doc.
Tell you what, that kind of stuff really pisses me off.
Oh, I was livid. I was livid.
Throws me off.
I walked away from my computer because I was like, you know what? I just can't.
Yep.
I want to throw the computer at this point, and just little anger issues coming up. I was like,
Been there. Totally get it. Okay, so that is the hideous link, but it should take you to the Google Workspace sign up. What's great about Google Workspace is it's cheap monthly. What's annoying about it is once you sign up, they will give you a workbook to move through, and you need to move through the workbook and follow the directions to make sure that you are Google compliant. I mean, HIPAA compliant.
okay.
I have a question about Florida. I don't know if this is in your wheelhouse, but I did the registered agent. I got my certificate to be licensed in Florida. And now the registered agent is sending me a bill to report something.
Like an annual business report.
Yeah, to the state of Florida, but I'm not actually, my LLC is here in Texas. And it looks as though, I couldn't find anything that said I specifically have to register in the state of Florida, but what I did see on their Secretary of State website was that if you don't do this filing, then they dissolve your listing in the state of Florida. I don't even have a listing in the state of Florida. So what's the downside?
Okay, let me see here for a second.
And if I could piggyback on that too, I am licensed in Florida. My LLC is in Florida, but there is a possibility I may be moving permanently up to Maryland. I'm only licensed in Florida. Like, if I moved up to Maryland, it would be working temporarily for the government, so I wouldn't have to get licensed in Maryland per se. So how does that affect me? So along the lines, thank you for asking that.
Yep. Okay. I just want to make sure that I understand this. Okay. I'm going to ask my tax guy. And then I'm going to give you some info.
Thank you.
Pay him enough that he should tell me whatever the heck I want to know. I just got another bill from him. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me, dude? I feel like you keep upping it. Question about annual report for student. Hey, Rich. I have a student who has an LLC in another state, but sees clients in Florida through a registered agent. Does she have to do the annual business report for Florida? Her registered agent is trying to charge her to do it. Okay, so we'll ask him and let's talk a little bit about this. So if you have any sort of incorporation in Florida, I know for a fact you do have to do this annual filing. I'll link it here for you. What really stinks about it is because you are listed as a business in Florida, you're going to get spam mail that tells you like, hey, we'll do your annual report, or you need to submit your annual report, while you could do it directly through the website and it's very freaking easy to do. And they try to charge you a lot of money to do it for you. So be careful not to get suckered into something like that. And that's why I was wondering, Janet, if your registered agent is trying to sucker you or if it's legit and you need to do it. So we'll find out. And then if you do legit need to do it, I'm wondering if you can do it yourself and not have to pay somebody money to do it.
So when I looked on the website, it cost $138 to register, but my registered agent was charging me $238. I was like, if I have to do it, I'll probably do it myself.
Right. And it's kind of BS because it's not really made for our jobs, you know? So some of the questions like, who's your chief financial officer? Me. Who's your CEO? Me. You know, it's kind of silly, but whatever. We'll jump through the hoops. Okay, so Bradlecia says she's scared her camera angle is just weird on her laptop. Okay, we won't look up your notes. All right, so Rachel, if you move to Maryland, it's possible, it's probable that you'll still be able to see your clients in Florida. You will want to check with the Maryland statutes to see where they consider therapy happening. In almost every state, they consider it to be where the client is physically located, and you're licensed where your client is physically located, in which case you only need to worry about Florida licensure and keeping up with that. If they say you need to be licensed both in the state where you are and in the state where your client is, that's a pain in the butt and would require you to go through the licensure process in Maryland. I doubt they say that.
So my other thing is, because I'm initially full licensed in Florida, would I have to convert it to that telehealth only license?
No.
Okay.
No. If you, would you be permanently moving to Maryland or temporarily?
I don't know. Like I said, in the beginning, it would be temporarily, but it could be more permanent because it's also closer to my mother. So I don't know. It was an opportunity that came down the road, and it probably won't maybe come to fruition for like 6 months to a year to know fully, but it just kind of got thrown in and I'm like, whoa, so setting up this business, this is an aspect that I gotta.
Okay. What is your, what's your degree type again?
LCSW.
Let me just look at something real quick. Okay. Okay, I'm not seeing it at a glance and I don't want to use up your time looking for it. I just thought I might be able to find it really quickly for you.
Is there somewhere I could go look later?
Yeah, you're gonna look at the, hold on. I want to get you to the right place. You're gonna look at health.maryland.gov. And that will have the info that you need. It's going to be in legalese, which is very annoying. The individual practicing teletherapy is physically located in Maryland or the client is in Maryland. Oh, shit. Hold on. Licensure. Counselor or therapist licensed or certified in Maryland may provide counseling services using teletherapy if one, this might be for counseling and not social work. One or both of the following occurs. The individual practicing teletherapy is physically located in Maryland or the client is in Maryland. Okay. Yeah, we can, so I'm going to give you the link to this page. If
Okay.
it's the right one, I might have landed on the counselors page. Counselors and therapists. Yeah, that's the wrong page. We'll back out. So you'll still go to maryland.gov. You'll still go to, I bet you I can find it real quickly. You'll still go to healthcare. Hold on. There. You can't be me. Nee. All right, here we go. It just pisses me off when I'm like, I know I'm so close and I can't get it. Okay, so that's the page that should take you to everything that you need to know. And if you have trouble interpreting any of it, just let me know and I'll help you work through it.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
Alicia, you're welcome. I'm going to make you a co-host so you can share your screen, show us what we're looking at in simple practice, and let's see if we can find a workaround because that's very annoying.
Okay. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I see the Zoom screen.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to move this. There's like a big bar at the top. Okay.
Mine will only move left and right, but it won't move anywhere else. I don't know if that helps you any.
Okay. Okay. It should be fine. Let me see if I can make this smaller too. Okay. So this is like the sample client that they give us, Jamie Appleseed. This is not where the forms are though, but just wanted to start here.
Okay.
You said something about you were gonna show me a workaround. Do I need to go where the forms are?
Yeah, let's take a look at the forms and let's take a look at, their informed consent template.
I don't know how to get it back.
You can just create new template. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
All right, awesome. Excellent. You can go to edit or view, whichever. Oh, that's all you get? That's total crap.
Well, this is, hold on, what, I'm trying to figure out if this is from, yeah, this is all you get. This is their,
That's-
so I haven't added in what I did with your template.
Okay, so I think what you're gonna have to do is go to that button that lets you add a new form and create a form that is about communication. So, yep, go to consent docs. Yep. And then I would write in here that little caveat that I say. And unfortunately, unless you want to make a new one of these for every form of communication, like email, texting, phone, you could do that. And then they could just sign each one of those that they agreed to. That's
Oh.
probably the most legal way to do it. Alternatively, you could bunch them all in there and say, like, this is a less than secure method of communication, but many clients prefer it. So I am willing to include it. If you want it, sign here.
Okay,
That's so annoying.
that is annoying.
They're already having you read through a bunch of crap, but you're gonna have to add another one.
And I wanted to also ask you about I'm gonna take you into my Google Drive now, but just how to, maybe you don't need to see it, but like how to write out the fees. So right now my clients are at $225, but in April, they're gonna start going up $10 until we hit 300. So I'm trying to figure out how to lay that out because I'll just show you what I have right now. And so I'm like, I don't want to give them a bunch of numbers and freak them out, but we have talked about it.
Mhm.
So they should know. I just want to make sure that I'm not doing something that's not in my paperwork.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here with rates.
Okay.
I wonder if I should just add a note, like an asterisk.
So are each of your clients going to be going up at the same rate at the same time, or are they
Yeah.
all on different scaffolds?
No, they're all at the same rate and they're gonna be going up at the same time.
Okay, so then what I would add in here, because your stupid, what the heck is the name of it? Good faith estimate requires this of you anyway. Because the rate's going to be changing over the course of therapy, we need to make that super clear. So I would add it, look at me clicking around on your document like I can control it. I would add in a little table with the month above, you know, however many months until they get to your full thing, and then the fee for that month under each one.
Okay. So I guess I'm wondering what the language would be because, so should I take this out for my current clients and only give this to new clients?
What's the this and the this, and that's in that
Great.
statement.
So should I take this out for my current clients and add in what you just said, the table?
Yeah, you could do that, or you could say, yeah, I mean, you can do that. Alternatively, you can just add the table and an asterisk that says if you're not already at the above rate, the table below applies to you.
Okay.
If you just didn't want to have to edit it too much.
Okay, yeah.
And then on the good faith estimate, you would, like I have a client that's paying self-pay. And I still need to send her a renewed good faith estimate, but that table is saying that it's this right now, it's gonna be this in March, it's gonna be this, okay.
And then at the end of yours, because the good faith estimate stupidly requires us to predict the total amount that they'll pay for the duration of their treatment, you can always have a sum at the end that says, if you were to stay in therapy for 12 months, this would be the sum for those 12 months. Like, people can't do math. I mean, really, that's okay.
Yeah, I have mine set up where it's like, it's this much And then if you were to do, you know, bi-weekly, it's this much. If you're in for a year, yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's great. I like that because it covers multiple bases. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Thank you for sharing your screen, Bradleycia. I'm walking us through that because I have several other people with the same questions. So now I know what it looks like on the back end, and I'll be able to answer that for them too. Awesome. What other questions do we have for today?
Crap. Tried to remember. I spent 5 hours in the car yesterday, so my brain is.
Well, this might trigger your memory. So share with me where you guys are in terms of your practice building. Where are you in the steps and what's the next step coming up?
I am still kind of in the beginning. So I'm with Headway, I'm with Growth Therapy, and I'm also with ThriveWorks, which ThriveWorks is totally W-2, but they pay less.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to transition off of there, but I don't get enough referrals for the Growth Therapy or Headway.
Mhm.
But when it comes to getting EHR and documentation, I mean, I've been just doing kind of like Word docs and files, like, and I have a couple of trials. So I'm working with Simple Practice, Therapy Notes, and Theranets to figure out which one I like. But like I said, I came from a world with government, so it wasn't using a private practice server already. So,
Mhm.
and still, like, I have a lot of like informed consent, release of information, kind of like typed up and kind of, ready to send
Functional.
out. Yeah, but I don't have like, so besides trying to see clients and keep getting paid, I still have all of that to do. So that's why overwhelmed.
Yeah. Well, so where are you leaning? You've been playing with those 3 EHRs.
I haven't been playing that much. I signed up for them, but like I said, the
Okay.
traveling. So, I mean, I took a class a while back. It was a 2-day thing with Patrick Casale, and he has Simple Practice, kind of like how to use Simple Practice. So, I don't know. I might just go with that because I have a tutorial on
Mhm.
it, but I wanted to play around with Therapy Notes too, because some people like that one as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone
So-
also mentioned Sessions Health, and my biggest thing is like what documents are there and how many documents can I add, like with the consents and like having that kind of stuff.
Okay. So if I'm making the decision, just to come back to what's most important, besides like, does it feel good to you? Is
Mhm.
your price point, if that matters, and can you auto schedule from your website?
Mhm.
That's like the single most important marketing thing that you can do from the
Mhm.
EHR. I know Simple Practice does. I don't know if Therapy Notes does. I don't know if Theranest does. I
Mhm.
used Theranest before this auto scheduling was even a thing, and I really liked it. I thought it was very easy to use. It was simple. So the auto scheduling is a big, big, big important piece. And I would
Mhm.
roll any of them out if you couldn't put a button on your website to be
Okay.
able to automatically schedule.
Okay.
All right, Bradleycia has a client question. Do you have a script for clients who cancel for non-emergency reasons? And have you had to terminate with a client who actually had a legit emergency for several weeks? How did you handle terminating? Okay. So because I had such a small caseload once I got my rates up, it was very easy for me to reschedule clients, and I didn't need to reinforce a no-show policy because it was just really easy to reschedule people. I had a lot of free time. It sounds terrible. And the clients, I attracted pretty neurotic, hyper compliant clients. So they didn't tend to cancel much. And to be quite honest, because I get migraines and have an autoimmune disease, I would sometimes cancel. And I kind of felt like it was only fair that they could sometimes cancel. If I was a therapist who had a bigger caseload, had less time, didn't need to cancel very often, and I attracted clients who maybe weren't so vigilant about coming to appointments and working in their appointments, I would have a no-show, late cancel policy. And I would enforce it after one freebie. I'd give one freebie and then we're enforcing the policy. So Bradleycia, if you're able to turn your mic on, what did the client say? Because that would affect the script. Like, how did the situation go down?
So this particular client has been gone since before I took my my own break. So I took 2 weeks in December. It was like the last week of December. Actually, it might have been 3 weeks. I think I might have been gone for 2 or 3 weeks. And this client was gone before then. So they were out of the country. And she was just like, I'm going to be out of pocket until the end of January. So I really, according to my paperwork, should have terminated, then and just been like, hey, when you're ready, come back. But she was away from therapy for quite some time. And we had a session last week. And I'm thinking, okay, back in the groove. This is a client who comes to therapy. Don't get me wrong. Came last week. And then this week, well, a few days before, so it wasn't a late cancel. She just said that work was going to be hectic. But I guess I'm a little triggered. It's not about her. I'm a little triggered by maybe other clients in the past that have canceled for similar reasons, like, oh, work is hectic or life is hectic, or I don't know, just like a scheduling sort of thing. It felt like a scheduling thing to me. She was like, I have trainings, and so I'm going to cancel for next week. Hey, when things get hectic for me as a therapist, it's like you kind of need to be in therapy. Like it's
yeah, it communicates something about the value that they're placing on therapy, unless it's truly that the training was over top of when the therapy would be and took the full week, who knows. Okay, so what is your triggered place want to say? And then we'll talk about your non-triggered place.
My triggered place wants to say, that we're in a therapeutic, it's kind of like, it's my triggered place and my professional place, that we're in a therapeutic relationship. I'm making a commitment to you, and you're also making a commitment to, the therapy. I don't want to say to me, like we're making a commitment to be in a therapeutic relationship. Show up, it can feel like relationships out in the world where it's like one person is putting in a lot of the effort, showing up, being there on time, just really showing up for you. And just whenever you have an inconvenience, you kind of step away or take a step back. And so that's what it feels like to me, that it's not as important. And I do feel that I do very important work. And when clients don't come to therapy, I can't get them graduated in the time frame that people normally graduate. Now, I'm not looking for folks to just kind of be out of my practice, but it's like, I know what we could do in a certain amount of time. And when you don't come, it just, I don't want you to need me forever. So I do intensive, deep work. I'm not like a brief therapist, or most of my clients come for at least a year and a half. Deep work, depth work.
Yeah.
So yeah, when they don't show up, it's kind of like, oh, do you maybe need something that's a little bit more, I don't know, loosey-goosey or fun? I don't know.
Right. Are you just looking for support, or are you looking to work?
Right.
And so has she or he or they rescheduled for their next appointment?
Yes. So they will be coming next week.
Okay, so I would have that conversation, a lot of what you just said in that appointment. Like I might say, so good to see you again. I hope things have calmed down with work. It can be really easy after a big break of therapy to get out of the rhythm. And so, we're gonna need to be in a weekly rhythm like we were in the past in order to get to the deep goals that you've been thinking about. So I just want to check, does this time each week fit for your schedule now? Are we going to be able to make this? And I say it in a way that doesn't sound punitive, but kind of like, I just want to check and make sure, like, are you here for the deep work? Cool, let's do it. she would need to have done this twice for me after the return for me to feel like we need to have a real serious conversation. And the one time I'd want to have a gentle conversation about like, hey, you know, really important that we're meeting weekly. I know it can be kind of hard to get back into the zone after this big break, but I'm really looking forward to it and know it's going to be super helpful for you. Does this time each week still work out really well for you? And see where you go. How does that feel?
That feels good. You have better words. So yes.
I have had, to your second question, I have had to terminate somebody who was, she was not coming because she had a triggered response, a legitly triggered response to part of an intervention that we did in a session. And so she canceled the next one. And I was like, I bet you this is about that intervention. And then the next one, she was sort of like not really present. She came, but she wasn't really present. And she canceled a few more. And I reached out repeatedly and was like, it feels like there was a rift. And we have an option to either work together and repair, or, you know, for you to repair it with your next therapist and work through and repair it with somebody else. Which way are you leaning? And at the same time, her fee was getting escalated and she was at a very low fee. So every month that went by that she wasn't coming, that fee was still going up. And then eventually got to a place where she's like, I can't afford that fee. She sort of forced a really interesting dynamic, right? You know, like, are you going to make an exception for me kind of dynamic because of this rift? And ultimately she didn't come back. And I was like, I mean, you had the opportunity. I kept asking, I asked you many, many times and you didn't take that chance. So it's gone now. I didn't say it like that, but that's how I felt, to be quite honest.
Yes. My client is having a family emergency. Mom is having some medical like complications. So it's a real thing. And like, I get it and I support her. I've been checking in on her, but next week will be the third missed appointment. And again, you know, legally and ethically, I just feel like it's a liability for us to kind of keep a client active who's really inactive. And so I'm not looking forward to having the conversation if she needs to cancel for next week.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I know.
I wonder if there's anything you can do preemptively, you know, I emailed with my clients and I had permission to email a little bit more clinical information. And so it would have been normal for me to reach out and say, hey, I know a lot is going on. And, you know, the way that I have to have my policy legally is after X number of missed sections, I have to close out the chart, but I also close out the file, but I also know that you probably, you know, would benefit from support right now. So would you like me to hold our ongoing session spot, in which case I need to make sure that you are able to come to that appointment? And if it would be better for you to take a break from treatment while you're handling kind of the chaos of this and then return when there's a little bit more space, that's fine too. Just let me know. And if I don't see you in our next session, I'm gonna, you know, assume at least until I hear from you that I should go ahead and close out the file, and then I'll reopen it when you're ready to return and get some more support.
I love it. Thank you.
That's hard. That's really hard.
Because I want to make sure she feels supported. Again, a client that comes wants to be in therapy. There's just a lot of stuff going on with mom's health. And
Yeah.
I just didn't want it to be like, hey, you know, according to my policy, I have to terminate with you. Like, that doesn't feel.
No. And she might be carrying a lot of guilt for not showing up too. Like, so you might be offering her the freedom to like, listen, I'm here, but I'm here for you and you can take space. Sometimes what we need during these times is space, and sometimes what we need is consistent support. And whichever one is right for you, I've got your back. You know, just let me know. Poor thing. All right, friends, what other questions do we have?
I was gonna just share where I'm at. I'm feeling like I'm all over the place. Like I'm trying to get my paperwork straight. I'm trying to finish my Psychology Today profile. I really want to get some self-pay clients. But I go down the rabbit hole when I get into Psychology Today, and then I'm taking the Badass Psychology Today profile course, and then I'm like, oh yeah, and then I gotta change my website, and then I got like, I'm so scattered that I feel like I'm not getting one thing done.
Yes, ma'am. And that's because there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. So let's first identify what the main priority is. Is the main priority to get the back end set up before clients come to you? Or is the priority to get the clients, and you know you'll get that back end together quickly if you need to? Which one feels most important?
It feels, because I'm a rule follower, most important to get my back end straightened up so that I can also make sure that the 20 clients that I have correct paperwork.
Mhm.
So that feels like the priority, but I'm also then seeing those clients and making sure that all their notes are in order and I mean, I feel pretty lucky that I'm not dealing with insurance or anything like that because I'm on Alma and Headway. They take care of all the insurance and billing.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm just like in the weeds.
Okay, and so if we're going to focus on backend first, what is the piece of backend that you need? What are our pieces?
I think getting my just like Bradley Seal was saying, getting my informed consent, making sure that's all, up to snuff, my the HIPAA privacy statement, the consent for telehealth. So that's another question. My informed consent, is it okay just to do a telehealth informed consent? I
Nope.
have two.
No, you'll just have one, but it includes all the things.
Includes all the things. Okay. And
And
then
honestly, Janet, just use mine and then look up on your web. I mean, you can literally use it verbatim. I don't care. Pull out the part about eye therapy because you're not using eye therapy, but just use exactly what it says there, and then look at your regulations and see if there's anything extra that they want you to do in there. For example, sometimes, your state regulations will say you need to have a way for clients to report you if you've been a bad girl, and just add that shit in there and be done.
put that complaint, and then so I want to make sure that all of those pieces are good to go. I have a short practice and policies that talks about only mental, telehealth and cancellation fee and things like that. I'll probably want to expand that now that I'm learning other things that like Bradley sees termination policy and all that, like make sure that. So that's the important piece, I think, that needs to be, it feels like that's priority.
Okay. So we've got three pieces. We've got the informed consent, we've got the privacy statement, which we just steal from the internet, and we've got the good faith estimate. And so in step-by-step course, have you already grabbed my informed consent out of there?
Yes, and I was going through it. So I just need to copy and paste it, right? And put my name in there.
That's right. And the privacy, go ahead.
I'm sorry, do even insurance clients need to get the good faith estimate? Because I have not been sending insurance. Okay.
Nope. So you can, I mean, for me, I just want, I want all my shit to be the same for everybody, so I don't have to think about it. So I would have it in my paperwork regardless, because I don't want to mess around with having to be like, oh, you get this and you get this, and did I give so-and-so the right thing? So everybody's getting everything from me. But really, yeah. So where do you steal the privacy policy? If you go to my informed consent in the course, there's a link in there to the privacy policy. And when you go to that page, there's like 5 options. Choose the one that is behavioral health. That's the one that you want. And it is editable. So nobody's ever going to read this stupid thing. Let's start there. Nobody reads it. But if you want to make it better, I just deleted anything in there that was about medical stuff that's unrelated to me. You know, they talk about catheters. I'm like, well, that's not me. And I just pulled it out and I left all of the rest. Your good faith estimate, you're going to steal also, and you're going to steal that from your professional ethics. So professional ethics, your professional body. So licensed clinical social workers, if you just pay licensed clinical social work, good faith estimate on their website, they're going to have one for you to download. You can do the same with counselors, with psychologists. I just feel like they paid a whole lot of money to lawyers. I just want to use theirs. I don't want to make one up. I just use theirs. So that's all. That's it. And then your paperwork's freaking done. And I would think about, like, just to be realistic, the paperwork is long. It's a lot of words. It's a lot of words that don't make a lot of sense. So I would block a good 3 to 4 hours to go through the paperwork, and I would turn off all distractions and be like, right, at the end of this 4 hours, this shit's going to be done. I'm not looking at it again. It's over after this 4 hours. And try not to perfectionize. It can be difficult, but try not to perfectionize. All right, my friends, we're going to wrap so that we can go into the Q&A. And my guess is not a ton of them were submitted. So feel free to add more questions in the Facebook group, and I'll see you over there in just a minute. Bye, guys.